So I wanted to film kind of a little bit of a recap video of how we're doing specific things, but also a little bit of a check-in with you. We are coming towards the end of Mia's package, and I've heard ancillary things that she's doing better at home and with other dogs, but I want to really integrate her and connect her with you guys, so that way she's having the success that she's having. We're not, in regards to training plan, we're not 100% where I'd like her to be, but we've definitely made improvements from the first time I worked with her. The first time she was like, not doing this, and just gave me a ton of attitude. Now she's like, okay, I guess we can do something with you. So I wanted to run through some of her skills, and then we kind of talk about what the next steps in training are. So for Mia, one of the commands that we're working on is name game. So name game ideally is they sit, they look at you. It's the introduction of leave it, introduction of recall. It's also just, hey, this is the default for humans, sitting and looking. Mia. Now I still have to lure her into a sit. Yes, good girl. But the idea is that I walk away from her, so I completely ignore that she's there. I'm going to go off to the side so you're not seeing my butt. But essentially, I'm going to say, Mia. I'm going to make some kissing noises. Really? This is one of the reasons why I love dogs. Mia, come on. Is this. No, I don't want to. Hi, sit. Yes, good girl. This little dog has a wicked personality, which is a defining trait of her. Hi, well, thank you for that paw. Can you sit, please? Yes, thank you. When I slow down, and I go at a much slower pace than what I usually go to, I can usually get her to interact with me. I can ask her for a sit, I can ask her for a touch, I can ask her for some other commands like leave it or place. I am a very high drive person. Mia is not. That's okay. Mia. But the idea is that when she hears her name, she needs to sit and look. And when she does, she gets rewarded, and then off you go. What I really would love for you to practice at home, and it doesn't have to be 15, 20 minutes of training every day. It is 30 seconds of training every day. So she's off exploring something over there. You're going to say, Mia. Oh, good girl. Come here. Mia, Mia. And this is what she does, right? She'll like, I'm not coming. It's not worth it to me. So if we try to lure her by getting down to her level, making some tapping noises, look, I got a treat. She's like, maybe. But this is also where we can give her a negative marker of teaching her, walking to a different spot. Mia. Yes, good girl. Can you sit? Now, the important thing with little dogs is that we tend to do this. Yes, because we want to be right next to them. But you have to make sure that after you get her close to you, pull yourself back up. Make sure your shoulders are stacked back up because she can look up to you. Working on this a few times throughout your day will make a world of difference when she's in that active state of barking or lunging or doing anything that she's not supposed to be doing. The other part of this with her behavior is that ultimately this little girl is just fearful. While you're getting these big reactions at the TV or dogs or people is insecurity. It's her own insecurity because she doesn't know what to do instead. So when you have her on a leash, yes, good girl. Yeah, that's a good check-in. That's where when you see something, we're going to tell her leave it or is your negative marker of nope, we're not doing this. Leave it is complete disregard what that is. I need you to check in with me. And we're going to replace that barking with checking in with you. So when she sees something over there, it's leave it. You can step in front of her. Yes, good girl. And see how she kind of like a little potato just wiggles around? That's okay. That's what we want. Ideally, we get them to sit and look. But right now, Mia. Right now, it's what's worth it. What's worth it to her? Sit. She doesn't want to do it, so okay. You can step into her, or okay, we walk away. We're going to completely go do something else instead. One of the things that I would recommend at home besides the name game is doing leash work. So I want you to attach her to a slip lead, and then whether you have a belt, a carabiner, something that attaches her to you. So I'm just doing my training belt. And I walk, my hands are free, and she's just stuck walking around with me. So whether you're cleaning the house, whether you're running errands, she probably follows you already, or Wilbur follows you as well. But this is where you're just like, nope, we're going. Here we go. She has to pay attention to you versus you paying attention to her. So I'm not looking at her. I'm not actively like watching where she's going. My head is up. So you could be on your phone, you can have a cup of coffee. It doesn't matter. The idea is that she has to pay attention to where you're going. Yes, good girl. And when you feel her, when she's actually engaged and walking with you, you're going to feel like you don't have a dog attached to you. It's a little weird. But this is the, hey, I got to pay attention. With dogs that have some insecurity, we want to build up their internal world. We want to build up the confidence. So whether that's problem solving, whether that is doing belt leash, doing name games, something that has, hey, you got to check in and you get rewarded for it. The more that we stack those up and build those in, the better the other behaviors are going to be. It's kind of like this whirlwind of behaviors and things that are happening in our life. And we're like, here's a little piece, here's a little piece, here's a little piece. And as we work that, it gets better and better and better to the core of what we want, which is no reactivity. I would say start with this. I would love for us to get together in the next week or so to work on our leave it in place commands in person. They're a little bit easier to communicate in person and have you do them. Also, we can work through some of her stubbornness together. I'm really curious to see what her dynamic is with you and how she responds, especially if you're asking her commands. Is she going to be all about it, or is she going to even be worse of like, nope, I'm not doing this? It could go either way, so we'll see. Yes, good girl. But kind of next steps for training plan would be we can tag in Wilbur into training and start working on his basics, and then the two sibling dynamics together. Really making sure that they are not displacing on each other, but also if one goes, the other doesn't join in, or if it does, how do we disengage that? How do we turn that off? But overall, she's doing pretty well, especially, again, compared to what first session to now. This is worlds difference. But we still have some ways to go. Let me know if you have any questions and when you'd like to get scheduled for that private.